who is having the
Can
slides,
you
madam?
hear me?
Dr. Thiru is, now it is.
Yeah, I sent it to him.
Yeah, he's sharing.
While he's doing, I just want to thank all the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak here about body image concern. Dr. Sripriya has kind of said most of what is related to body image. I'm just going to add on a little bit of studies and other articles where we learn about body image concerns for adolescents. How do I change slides? This is the first slide. Can I operate the slides or yes?
You're able to view the slides?
Yeah. This is not the first slide, but that's okay. Let me start with this. No, again, that's not the first slide.
Your voice is not clear, madam.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. But when you go for the slides, I think it is not clear.
Can you hear me? Can I
Yes,
start from the first slide?
Go ahead, madam. Go ahead.
All right. So, like Dr. Sripriya said, body image is a picture that a person sees of their own body, irrespective of how it looks, how it actually looks. And then this is something that we need to understand to see what exactly an adolescent teenager goes through with regard to body image dissatisfaction. Body image is complex. It involves thoughts, feeling, evaluation, and behaviors. And it is one of the components of adolescent identity. And there are several researchers in the past who talked about a biopsychosocial approach to body image, and that it is a dynamic thing which changes with age and even change of clothes. Right? Or okay, it's a multi-dimensional concept that Dr. Sripriya talked about. But when you think of perception, it basically starts with all the various data that you think of regarding from the sensory organs and interprets in the brain and be interpreted in the brain. And then because of that, we have a particular perception of our body. Sure, it can be healthy or it can be unhealthy. Right? What is a negative body image? Basically, a discrepancy between what we perceive in our body, what is considered as an ideal image. And so that's the reason all the outside social cultural influences may cause the negative body image. It includes dissatisfaction with the body of our body, preoccupation with
Madam, can you switch off your video and talk, madam?
It also involves behaviors with regard to a negative body image. And negative body image is measured as body dissatisfaction, body image dissatisfaction. Right? What's positive body image? Basically, it has multiple components where a person can appreciate the body and how the body interacts with the world. It has to be self-compassion, so that you cannot be all the time feeling guilty or disgusted or bad about the body. So it's the opposite of that. And also understanding that nobody's body is perfect, and health should be considered as the whole body health and not just the appearance, and not just as weight loss. Essentials for a positive body image are increased physical activity, a balanced diet, sleep hygiene, healthier sexual habits, and overall general habits. Next slide. So development of body image, as you can see from this slide, starts off in pediatric life when there is a feedback between the motor system in the developing fetus and the sensory input from the surrounding fact that the baby is in. Prenatal and postnatal experiences teach you about your body image. And self-recognition, like Dr. Sripriya said, starts at around 2 years. And by about 6 years, it becomes a bigger problem of body image and dissatisfaction. And one study showed that among 6 to 12-year-old children, school children, 40 to 50% talked about dissatisfaction with some part of the body. Next slide. So there is development within the adolescent age. Like, body image, as you know, is critical and it happens in a critical stage in the adolescence. Because adolescence per se is a transition at a dynamic stage in life, body image kind of problems related to body image happen a lot more among adolescents. It's influenced by specifically positive and critical messages from parents. And there is enough evidence in this literature to say that parent-teen interaction has a significant impact or can cause body image dissatisfaction. As they grow into middle adolescence, parental information or parental reactions are less important and peer response is much more important. And what is known is that if there is a critical event or a series of events, it does result in body image dissatisfaction or a negative body. Right? So in early adolescence, there is a lot of uncertainty about whether my body is growing normally or not. Is it the same as my friends? Things like that. And an early adolescent requires a lot of reassurance from family and the healthcare provider. In middle adolescence, there is a preoccupation which shifts to, am I attractive to the same sex, opposite sex, whatever they are interested in. Late adolescence shows a lot of balance with introspection and then less emphasis on external characteristics, by which time they are stabilized about their appearance and image. Next slide. So this is just a list of all the factors that can affect body image and therefore body image dissatisfaction or a negative body image. So age, gender, pubertal changes, culture, society, self-esteem within themselves, any kind of chronic illness, whether psychiatric or physical illness, sexual abuse, physical abuse. And next slide, please. Now, what is dysmorphia? Dysmorphia, by definition, is a condition where a person feels falsely believes that there is something wrong with their size or shape. So there may be no defect in the body, or there may be a very mild defect in the body. But the person feels that that is a huge, big problem. That is dysmorphia or negative body image or a body image dissatisfaction. And prevalence, like Dr. Shikya said, is quite high, more higher in girls than in boys. Girls aspire to be thinner, boys tend to look for a athletic body shape, and there are definite ethnic differences. Dissatisfaction is less among African American women compared to white women. This is what some studies have said. Next slide. Okay, so you look at this from dysmorphia per se, what is normative? Most people, when they're looking at media and an ideal from the media, may have some amount of dissatisfaction with the body, which falls under the normative. It goes on into pathological when it becomes more severe. Next slide. Pathological could be transient or chronic. Next slide. And in the thought process, in pathological, it may be just one idea, which is an abnormal idea. There may be a problem with the body which is not significant, but it may just be an idea. And it moves on to more severity as being an overvalued idea. And then finally, a delusion, which is a very significant psychiatric symptom. Next slide. If you look at disorders, among organic disorders like temporal lobe epilepsy comes under the pathological state. And there are several psychiatric illnesses where there is body image dissatisfaction. Next slide. Here you can see even under psychiatric, under organic temporal lobe epilepsy, under psychiatric, there may be any kind of psychosis or mood related disorders and specific psychiatric disorders, which is body dysmorphic disorder, very significant severe illness, and eating disorders also common. Right? So when you look at differential diagnosis, I'm going to list out of 14 different diagnoses for body image dissatisfaction, starting with what is normal, going on into a continuum to unhealthy body perception. Normal appearance, many people seem to have normal appearance concern. Many people seem to have it is increasingly common. There is more interest in cosmetic specialists, procedures, etc. What is dysmorphic concern? When there is excessive concern about a particular body part or body, and there is preoccupation with that, whether it is a body part or a preoccupation with the body odor or function, etc. But this is not necessarily a psychiatric or a DSM diagnosis. Next comes disordered eating. Again, this is not like a definite DSM diagnosis, but there is abnormal thoughts, beliefs, behaviors along towards food, and there is some amount of negative body image. And unhealthy weight control beliefs and practice do happen. This is a risk factor for developing an eating disorder. So if you catch a teenager with these kind of symptoms, it's important to address it and not say that, okay, they are just trying to be wonderful and things like that. Right? Anorexia nervosa is another differential diagnosis for body image dissatisfaction, very typically. It's one of the most severe manifestations of body image dissatisfaction. Prevalence is 0.4%. Body image dissatisfaction is a core characteristic. Distortion occurs in attitudinal levels and in perception. And you know the DSM criteria. Amenorrhea is not anymore. Right? Bulimia nervosa, again, debilitating and potentially life-threatening disorder, recurrent episodes of binging. Typically, what is binging? When there is excessive food intake with a sense of lack of control over what you do, followed by inappropriate compensatory behaviors, anything, vomiting, exercise, laxative abuse, all of it. Self-evaluation and self-worth unduly influence the body weight. And bulimia nervosa usually have a chronic or intermittent course. And it may often persist for several years. Next slide. Muscle dysmorphia is something new. It is a rare variant of body dysmorphic disorder focused on muscularity and mostly in men. There is an extreme desire to gain lean muscle mass and preoccupation with the perceived lack of muscularity. So it is kind of a reverse form of anorexia nervosa. A new term, vigorexia, has been coined. It means a mental illness where a man worries that his body is too weak and too small. And there is significant social, occupational impairment, psychosocial problems, embarrassment over perceived flaws, and then because of which there may be high risk behavior using androgenic steroids, excessive workout, and things like that. And the tendency for social withdrawal. Right? Binge eating disorder, again, it's a DSM diagnosis, recurrent episodes, large quantities of food, binge eating without any control over it, and without any purging behaviors. Next slide. Body dysmorphic disorder basically is a severe form of illness where we have seen teenagers who are very preoccupied with one or two defects in the physical appearance associated with repetitive compulsive behaviors like mirror checking, excessive grooming, camouflaging, always comparing features of their own features with other people mentally, all the time thinking about it. And because of this, they will have even delusions of reference. That is basically they keep having these thoughts. It's not like they're just thinking thoughts which preoccupy their mind that somebody else is mocking them or making fun of them. And like in anorexia and bulimia nervosa, body image dissatisfaction precedes the onset of disease in body dysmorphia disorder. And it's got very high rates of depression and suicidality. In the general population, it's about 0.7% prevalent. Adolescent population is a little higher, about 5%. So there are other disorders dissatisfaction. So body image dissatisfaction or BID is a prominent feature in all these. OCD, social anxiety, major depression, general anxiety, deliberate self-harm, which is like cutting, and trichotillomania. So there are several psychometric tools for evaluating body image dissatisfaction or body image within an illness or even in a normative population, which includes like attitudinal tools, perception tools. Attitudinal tools, basically the teen will respond to a questionnaire where they talk about their feelings about your body, size and shape. And in perceptual kind of tools, they look at accuracy, how they judge dimensions of their body or body parts. Another tool is eating disorder inventory. It looks at body dissatisfaction subscale, drive for thinness subscale, and interoceptive awareness subscale. And a whole bunch of questions within these three subscales. Next slide. treating body image dissatisfaction, cognitive behavioral therapy is the most commonly used, best proven intervention in various disorders. Next slide.
Madam, 2 more minutes, madam.
I think I'm not going to finish because there's lots more to talk. If you want, I'll stop. Just tell me when to stop.
Okay,
Other
ma'am.
things
Thank you.
include
2 minutes.
fitness,
Thank you.
media literacy, media resistance, cognitive remediation therapy. Next slide. Pharmacotherapy. Next slide. It's specific for each of these disorders. Next slide. Next slide, please. So there are a lot of medical complications as listed here, especially for anorexia nervosa, involving most of the systems. There are a lot of mental health complications. Next slide. Prognosis, depending on what disease it is, there is poor prognosis or moderate prognosis. Next slide. Treatment is very challenging in body dysmorphic disorder, and they need medication for a long period of time. Pharmacotherapy with CBT has proven efficacy, and suicide mortality rate related to body dysmorphic disorder is pretty high. Next slide. So there are some interventions I just want to focus on this to promote positive body image. Parental education about the importance of a positive image during annual check is important. Assess for body image concerns during a clinic visit. First and foremost, check our own biases as a clinician regarding body shape and size. Do we have body image that we have? Specifically for athletes, counsel them regarding adequate nutrition, protection, supplement use, and unsafe weight control behavior. It is not useful to keep a teen patient in category saying overweight or obesity. Instead, shift focus from weight and BMI to overall health. Basically, celebrate all sizes and say whether you're fat or thin doesn't matter as long as you're exercising and having a balanced nutrition throughout. Also, never assume that a normal weight teen is not using unhealthy practices. Next slide. Next slide, please. It's important to avoid potentially harmful language while dealing with adolescents. To start with, never categorize them that you're in the obese category for BMI like that. Never compare them and look at them along the curves. Don't be judgmental in the way when you talk to them. All these are, you have to be mindful of it. Next slide. Next slide, please. Use patient-centered language. Health is so much more important than a number of. What do you of your health? Be body positive. Say something that you appreciate about your body. Use positive body image overall language while dealing with an analyst. Studies have shown that school-based education or parent education programs are not that effective in preventing body image dissatisfaction among us teenagers. What we need to know as adults, parent, teenager, healthcare professionals, we should be aware of body image dissatisfaction related disorders, in particular anorexia, bulimia, binge eating disorder, and see early intervention. It is a very complex illness if you take just anorexia, bulimia, binge eating in a clinical scenario. An interprofessional team is very, very important for achieving optimal outcome. Next.
Thank you for the
Next
wonderful
slide, please.
question, Dr. Sri Priya and Dr. Mona Bhaskar. Yeah, Ismail, you want to say?
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the wonderful lecture. Dr. Shri Priya, just one question. I just wanted to ask you, as a practicing